come into the operating window. So they were getting to lap 7 and still improving the pace.
Yeah, given the fact that we're also up in the mountains, the colder air tends to be frequented quite a lot here, and also at the same time it's a very short lap as well, so it does take that little bit longer for the drivers to get the temperature up in terms of the tyres and get that sticky rubber out on the tyre itself as well. Leon, no surprise, already purple in that first sector as the cars look to embed their way through turn 3 here at Remus. And there'll be plenty, though, fighting up at the sharp end. We did see Josh Dufek earlier on as well. Charlie Wirtz, he automatically goes faster as well than that of Noel Leon. You can just see him there in the bronze livery with the green trim. That is a similar livery that he has done all season long in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. He's donning it here now in the Euroformula Open Championship. Both drivers committing till the end of the season here at Euroformula. And with plenty of rounds still to go, plenty of races still to go. Now, while the points gap up at the sharp end, going back to that, Noel Leon, 201 coming into the weekend, 17 points the difference between him and Bryce Aaron at this stage, which might sound a lot, but when you consider the amount of races we have over the course of a weekend, folks, remember, it's 3 races per round. We have got 4 rounds left here in the Euroformula Open Championship, so still a huge opportunity for those to try and stamp it in position on Noel Leon's championship lead. Cian Shields could easily bring himself into the fight with Francesco Simonazzi on 154 points himself in 4th, as we're now seeing the cars come across the line now. And also witnessing the return of Paolo Brajnik here to the lineup, basically trying to take on the Gold Cup trophy contest against that of Vladimir Netashil, and representing NV Racing as he now marches up towards turn 3.
Yes, both the Gold Cup drivers unfortunately weren't with us last time out at the Castellet for various reasons, but good to see them back, and it's also nice to see one of the Motorpark run cars without the traditional red and black livery, and a bit easier to tell them apart from the rest. We usually have to go by helmets and different wing trimming colours, but here's Joshua Dufek here taking on a new set of Pirelli tyres there. We actually have a fantastic view of the Motorpark carriage from our commentary box position as well on the main straight just opposite the podium. So we'll be able to see all the comings and goings there. See Noel Leon getting taken off the jacks as well to go for another run.
Yeah, Noel Leon in very, very vibrant form, as you'd expect. Only 3 wins this season, though. You could argue that he could have been in the quest for more, but still a long way to go in the championship, more to be had. And Red Bull Ring, if we can go off the results of last year, it certainly does throw up a very rich contest. Oliver Goethe, of course, who had become champion last year, won the very first race. And then, of course, Vlad Lomko taking the second race win. And then it was the turn of Francesco Simonazzi to take his first ever Euroformula Open victory. Paolo Brajnik going second fastest immediately, though the time deleted, as we now see him drop down to 5th place again. And track limits certainly have been the story, because obviously if we look at some of the corners, especially around that final bend at turns 9 and 10, that's what's been catching a fair few drivers out, because you try and extend as much as you can to give yourself the access heading down the home straight, but at the same time you're fraughting with danger. If you step over that white line, your time gets deleted.
Hops and skips over the that sausage curb on the exit of turn 3. And yes, track limits are very much going to be a hot topic here this weekend across all the championships, I would suspect. And of course it certainly was when they had the Grand Prix here earlier in the year. And we saw it on the shot earlier. We'll see it again when they go back to the final corner, but you can see the remnants of the extended curbing from when MotoGP comes here earlier in the year, which has been taken up for car racing, and they run a little bit more space there. So we see Simonazzi coming into the pits, as we can also see out the commentary box position, the Motorpark boys starting to head back out on track as well for the last 12 minutes of this session. So it has been what they told us. It's been embedding in a set of tyres to use later. Tyre wear's been pretty low around here, particularly on the right-hand side tyres, because there's only, in reality, 2 left-handers on this track that are worth any sort of note as well. Of course, I know turn 2 technically counts as a little kink on the way up the hill these days. Time to look out for, by the way, because we were very close to it in FP2 yesterday, is 1:23.304, which is the Euroformula lap record around here, which was set by Jack Crawford back in 2021. And of course, he's been doing fairly well in F2 lately. And actually, if we're talking about Euroformula alumni, we should congratulate Alex Palou on a second IndyCar championship, one of the most dominant IndyCar championships that certainly I've ever seen. And this, of course, is where his car racing career began a few years ago.
We've also got to congratulate former Euroformula runner-up Liam Lawson on getting the step up into AlphaTauri as well. So it's been quite a busy time for former Euroformula alumni, and great to have them as well, representing and being part of the championship, and since stepping up and finding themselves at the, should we say, the top, the precipice of World Motorsport.
And for the current crop as well, they've been very busy. Francesco Simonazzi doing the last couple of rounds of the FIA Formula 3 Championship as well.
Absolutely.
Josh Mason, of course, has gone on
F2
to Formula 2 as well, which is astonishing. And I do remember him telling me about his plans last time he was with us at the Hungaroring. And I don't want to say I scoffed at the notion of it, but I was a bit surprised. And man, fair play to him, really. It's an incredible achievement to reach the F2 grid. And on a slightly different note, Noel Leon went to go and do Mexican NASCAR over the summer break, where he put it on pole position in his one and only race.
Yeah, he's a very busy young man, is Noel Leon, and is certainly providing his team with great results, breaking into the 200 points as well after his achievements. 3 wins this season, as we alluded to. Jakob Bergmeister also looking to improve as well. Goes purple in that middle sector already, and his time currently up on the board as well. Currently, Paolo Brajnik holds the top of the timing screen ahead of fellow Gold Cup trophy driver Vladimir Netashil. Simonazzi still down in third. We're still waiting for the actual laps we are expecting from some of these drivers too. Bergmeister, I'm sure, will try and break that deadlock as he makes his way up towards the line and try and put in some added delta. Goes first fastest, automatically just over 0.2 of a second faster right at the top. But expect that time to come crashing down. A 1:27.085 at this point. Much more to come.
Yeah, for reference, we're nearly 4 seconds a lap off the pace we saw in FP2 yesterday, so still plenty to come. And we've been talking about the tyres and getting them in the window. They've been struggling to do it in the first few laps, and with it being so early in the morning here and temperatures being so low, we were talking about the mist clearing. There's still a bit of it around, and that's a message we're going to see a fair few times, I'd have thought. Track limits violation there for Vladimir Netashil. So his last lap time's been deleted, but with sort of 8.5 minutes left in this session, I'm sure it will be of very little consequence.
This definitely throws up an interesting set of affairs here, because obviously with the new tyres now being strapped onto the motor park cars at this point, obviously we've got 8 minutes and 20 still to go in the session. They'll want to embed a few laps just to make sure they're up to temp. You can already see Jakob Bergmeister, a mega improvement in Sector 2. He's now just under 0.9 of a second up on his previous time. We'd still expect a lot more than that, though, however. Of course, we're still in the 1:27s. This will put him into the 1:26s at the very least. A big third sector, though, might grant him even more than that as he comes up towards the line. Could be a 1:25, and it is a 1:25.818 for Jakob Bergmeister. And that's certainly showing how the tyres getting up to temperature, as well as the track itself. It's allowing those drivers to knock at that delta. Bryce Aaron now goes second fastest, and just over 1/10 of a second, 1.25 tenths in behind that of Jakob Bergmeister, and they breeze past Netashil and Brajnik, who is now got to try and find 1.5 seconds immediately. Charlie Burt's going 5th fastest, Dufek in behind, and they're all looking to get those tyres up to temp as well.
Jakob Bergmeister didn't have winter testing, but he was out at a test at the Lausitz Ring with Motorpark during the summer break. That was with Bryce Aaron and, of course, their 2 new drivers, Charlie Burtz and Joshua Dufek. Now, technically, they are racing under the Crypto Tower entry, but that team, of course, run by Motorpark. If you're new to Euroformula Open, it's Bryce Aaron there. Looked like he locked the rears going into the downhill braking zone of Turn 4.
Yeah, certainly did that, and that can really concern you. Heading through Stosh-Gold as well, you can really flat spot the tyres. If you lock those tyres up, it will cause you a huge problem. These drivers are having to adapt as well to the Pirelli rubber, which came in a late introduction to this championship. If you consider that many of these drivers would have tested on the Hankook tyres that we were due to have at the start of the season. Obviously, due to the fire, they were unable, should I say, get my words out, George, to actually supply the tyres they were looking for the championship. So a quick dash over to Pirelli, as many of you would probably know. Josh Dufek is going to make his way towards the line, as well as Bryce Aaron very shortly. Bryce Aaron immediately to the top, finds a mighty third sector to literally improve on his previous two. 124.966. Here comes Charlie Wirtz. Joshua Dufek as well, right in the mix. He's also improving at this point, as well as now we see Wirtz go to the top, and he slashes that time gap down now as we have 6 minutes to go. I'd expect the times to get saltier heading into the final echelons of qualifying, so strap yourselves in, folks. We've got a long way to go, but it's going to come last minute.
Charlie Wirtz, of course, son of Alexander Wirtz, the former F1 driver and two-time Le Mans 24-hour winner. So that is another generational talent that we have on the Euroformula grid, in addition to Jakob Bergmeister, who's a fourth-generation talent amongst the Bergmeister family. But now our other rookie, Joshua Dufek, now goes to the top of the times, 24.697. Joshua Dufek, born just on the other side of London to me, good old Camden Town.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just had his time deleted as well, down to 7th place, so he's got to try and re-engage himself. Obviously, I don't think he'd be too concerned. You will expect the times to come down heftier than that. The current top time at the moment is a 124.966, so settle in, folks. Noel Leone has already gone purple in the first sector, but immediately had that taken away by Cian Shields, who immediately steals that. Noel Leone has found, though, a mighty second sector as the deltas continue to come plummeting downwards as they now make their way through towards turns 9 and 10. And again, I'll say it, this is where track limits will be tested as he makes his way through Jochen Rindt and now around the Red Bull Mobile curve, heading down the long straight now. Cian Shields now 4th fastest down to 5th, in fact, as Dufek goes to the top. Noel Leone, though, immediately pounces on that, a 123.996. Now we're getting into the territory where we're expecting the times to be now, and I'm sure we'll see more of it come cascading down. Cian Shields, who went purple in that first sector, lost a little bit in sector 2, but enough for second fastest as he just sits himself behind Noel Leone. But we're now in the 123s here, Chris.
Absolutely, and they're actually being very well behaved at the last two corners in terms of track limits. It's actually turn 1 and the entry to turn 6, the left-hander in that double left section, the middle of the track, where they seem to be breaching the most track limits, actually. Although, of course, as I say that, there's a message that pops up on our timing screen, track limits deletion at turn 9. That was for car number 7, which is Vladimir Netishil. Noel Leone here on another good lap, purple in the first sector, and we are now into the 123, so knocking on the door of that pace we were seeing in FP2 yesterday. Flying through that middle sector now, coming up to those critical last two corners where the track limits are very easily done. He's got the rookie Joshua Dufek right in front of him as well. That looks very, very on the limit for Noel Leone there in the middle of turns 9 and 10. Quite comfy in the last corner, though. And let's see where this puts Noel Leone now. Puts him quite comfortably fastest with a 23.532.
Yeah, just over 1.5 tenths of a second off his best in session 2. Noel Leone is going to put his best foot forward here. Every chance of taking yet another pole position that he would love to add to his locker to give himself the best chance of perhaps taking another race win to add to his championship quest. Of course, we've still got 3 races to cover. Remember, we do have reverse grid scenarios as well in terms of the reverse race result and also reverse quali results. We just see Noel Leone getting the rear out on the car. Now, this is something that's consistent. We will see a little bit of this. We all know that Francesco Simonazzi likes to do a bit of a tail whip from time to time. Noel Leone joining that club here right now as he makes his way through Stoshgold. And now with 2.5 minutes to go, it is all coming down now to this. A matter of possibly 2 laps remaining now. Noel Leone, no doubt, teeing himself up for a faster run towards the end. Will there be anyone who can stop him?
Dufek was close on his tail in FP2, it must be said, considering this is his debut in the championship. And he's had a, well, I'd say a fairly decent run at Formula Regional this year. He was 9th in the standings when he departed and came over to the Euroformula Open. We've got a replay here. Now, this is a bit a rougher ride over that sausage curb on the exit of the first corner there for Paolo Brajnik.
Yeah, Paolo Brajnik taking a bit of an uncomfortable ride over the side of the circuit. You certainly don't want to venture too far over there. Noel Leone coming out of turn 1 at Niki Lauda curve and will now sprint heading up through towards Remus at turn 3. Let's see what this lap can deliver for Noel Leone. We've got a best lap of car 84 deleted at the end of the session, more than 3 reported track limits. So there we have it, a punishing expose for Francesco Simonazzi, and obviously just struggling with some of the off tracks there, and that's definitely going to cause him major problems when we go racing later on this afternoon.
Yeah, that's an interesting message to have there. It's slightly different to the one we had on the timing screen as well. So my understanding of that is that it doesn't matter what he does in qualifying now, his best time won't count, and currently he's on a 1:29.6. So it looks like Francesco Simonazzi will be starting last for all 3 races this weekend. Not a good start to the weekend for the Italian, but we're coming up to crunch time here. Dufek's backed out of this particular lap, but Noel Leon is up on his current best time, and it's Dufek with provisional pole at the moment by 0.2 of a second. So what has the young Mexican Noel Leon got to return the serve? Very, very close to the white line on the exit of that final corner. Comes across the line now and does go fastest with a 23.568, and that puts him just over 0.2 clear of Joshua Dufek.
It certainly does, and now he'll need to put the burners on, because now he's got one last chance to dance. Of course, the timer ticking down to 0. Noel Leon is going to look to try and consolidate this position up at the front end. Josh Dufek still out on track as well. Car time 19. Noel Leon having his track time deleted after exposing the limits at turn 9 yet again. Again, we see that frequent expose heading through the final sector. It can crucify a lap, and unfortunately for Noel Leon, in that instance, has lost that superb time that we saw just now. But now making his way as the checkered flag comes down towards Slosh Gold. Big chance for Leon if he can certainly grasp something purple in the first sector.
That's a delayed message, I think, because the 5.32 was what he did on the previous lap, I think. So the one we just saw currently stands.
Yeah, it certainly does stand, and he could improve it, but maybe not.
He was
dipping off.
Yeah, just dipping a wheel in the gravel there. I think he just about got away with it. 0.2 up still in the middle sector, but did he lose momentum there?
Well, we'll soon find out. Sector 2 was purple yet again. He's only got 2 corners left, and guess what? It's turn 9 and 10. Coming through there, that final corner at Red Bull Mobile Curve. Noel Leon looking to break the boundary that he set in session 2. Comes across the line now. Noel Leon, a 1:23.297. He does surpass session 2's top time, and the Mexican, as it stands, will be on top. Dufek has crossed the line second fastest, Charlie Verts third fastest, Bryce Aaron fourth fastest, Kian Shields still out on track. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. He has improved in that second sector as he makes his way across the line, but only enough for fourth fastest, Kian Shields, Bryce Aaron fifth, Bergmeister sixth, Nettishil seventh, Brajnik eighth, and Simonazzi, due to the issue that he would not be able to set another time after that last one that he set. Obviously the stewards handing him, should we say, essentially it was almost like a session ban, Chris.
Oh yeah, you could argue that, and Noel Leon in the end there went 0.07 of a second quicker than Jack Crawford's lap record time, but actually looking at the timing screen, it hasn't updated to that new lap time, which would infer that it's automatically been deleted. In fact, it has for track limits at turn 1. So the lap record still goes to Jack Crawford, but pole position at the moment goes to Noel Leon, his 4th consecutive pole position. There is only 1 pole this year that has not been accredited to Noel Leon, and that was right at the beginning of the season when Enzo Trulli was on the grid with us. So Noel Leon continuing on in fine form.
Yeah, not just 4th consecutive, but 4th overall as well. Here are the results of qualifying. Noel Leon is on pole position on 1:23.568 was the surpassed time. That last one getting deleted, unfortunately. Joshua Dufek in 2nd, Charlie Verts in 3rd, Kian Shields in 4th, Bryce Aaron 5th, Jakob Bergmeister 6th, with Vladimir Nettishil 7th, Paolo Brajnik 8th, and Francesco Simonazzi in 9th place.
So the 2 new boys, 2nd and 3rd on the grid. That's a fantastic start to their Euroformula Open careers. And the same penalty that Simonazzi had is going to be applied to Vladimir Nettishil as well. I'll do no favours for his Gold Cup championship, but here's Noel Leon, and I'm sure he'll go and celebrate with engineer Kai. We were having a good chat with him last night, and you know, it seems that Noel Leon's incredible quality that he's developed over the season is immediately known when he comes back into the garage. These are the laps, these are the corners in particular that I want to look at and analyse and make sure we're extracting everything out of out of the car.
Yeah, well, the great thing about, obviously, championships such as the Euroformula Open, it certainly gives these drivers a second chance, a second bite at the cherry, because obviously Norleone, who had a tough time in Formula Regional only a season ago, has now returned certainly to single-seaters here in Euroformula and has delivered many a great result. And once again, a pole position, his 4th consecutive, as you've said. And not only that, sees himself in the lead of the championship and is on the hunt to win that crown as well, much like Oliver Goethe did last season too, effectively putting himself in the potential window for an F3 seat next season. We'll have to wait and see. But the spectators enjoying this as well. We have an interview with Norleone.
The season resumes, and you are still in the top with pole position here at Red Bull.
Yeah, for sure it was a tough qualifying, you know. Track limits here, it's really difficult, so we want to maximize the lap. Unfortunately, my last lap was the fastest and was deleted, but at least we have my second best lap to be on pole. Super happy with the car. Then it's going to be that tough because in this track the toe is quite important. So yeah, 3 more races and then let's push.
How do you like the Red Bull ring?
Yeah, really like it. In this car is mega fast corner, so yeah, it's really, really fun.
And how you avoid track limits issues?
Don't push too hard. Yeah, unfortunately, my last lap was 3 tenths faster than my best lap, I think so. So then, but unfortunately, T1 was a little bit on the limit.
Well done. All the best.
Thank you.
Well, a very candid and certainly well-spoken Norleone reviewing that qualifying. Certainly was a tremendous effort, and we will see how he gets on when we go racing later on this afternoon. Join us then, folks. Take care.